The advance reaches Worms on the Rhine River. Swift and wide, the Rhine is bridged after enemy opposition at the water's edge has been overcome. A vital supply line is continued for the final drive on Germany. Eastward, the campaign for Central Europe gathers momentum. An enemy tank and its crew is captured at Zugerheim. Soon there are masses of prisoners along the Autobahn. General Eisenhower states, the Germans as a military force on the Western Front are a whipped army. The 7th Army's prisoner of war stockade at Worms. The faces of the enemy tell what is happening better than words. But in cities such as Aschaffenburg, the Hitler legions fight on fanatically. The battle here is a week long and no quarter given. Patch's army sweeps on across the Bavarian plains. In a small town, Nassig, half the garrison gives up after a prisoner has volunteered to go within the town to persuade their surrender, but the volunteer is never seen again. The defenders, 16 to 18 years old, have had but 15 days of training. The shrine city of Nuremberg, a city pounded to a pulp, remains dangerous. In its wreckage, the remnants of a Wehrmacht division fight for 5 days. The mopping up operation continues south toward Austria. Then, at last, the day of victory comes for the men of the 7th Army. There are formalities that provide a special satisfaction. The disarming of Hermann Goering. At Nuremberg Stadium. The symbol of cruelty and hate is gone. The bad taste of war is tempered by pleasant moments. The joy, the gratitude on the faces of thousands of slave laborers about to be liberated makes it seem worthwhile. The American flag, flying over an ex-Nazi camp, spells out freedom. Berchtesgaden, Hitler's mountain home. The Nazi Führer, his myth, the might of his armies, these too are gone. The view remains. And a memory remains of those in the 7th Army who fell during the rugged fighting of 2 long years. war is over. But in the years that follow, a new danger arises. East Germany, with her Russian friends, makes threatening gestures and becomes a potential avenue of attack against the Western allies. After a period of service on occupation duties, the 7th Army, reactivated, becomes the major U.S. ground force of the NATO armies. With frequent practice maneuvers, the 7th is again a combat-ready fighting army. Today, in exercises such as Winter Shield in Germany, the 7th trains with other NATO forces. The training emphasis is on combat readiness, and the training continues in terrain and under weather conditions as rugged as any the 7th Army encountered during World War II. In training, the spirit that emerged on the battlefields of Sicily, France, and Germany sets a standard for the troops of today's 7th Army. They are aware of their huge responsibility as the major American fighting force in Europe. They stand ready, a pyramid of fighting strength, to resist aggression.